I asked you if you would like 100-mile-an-hour reliever.
And I said yes.
And the first thing you said was?
If it's not Aroldis Chapman.
Jim Bowden wrote this. Aroldis Chapman rebuilt his free agent value this year, posting a 3.09 ERA in 61 appearances. He struck out 103, allowed just 37 hits in 58 and a third innings. His fastball is back in the triple digits. His slider is back to being nasty, and it's harder than it's been since 2014. He's projected to get a 2-year deal in the $12 million range. The Astros are likely to be a team that has interest in. He's expecting the Astros to continue to have the number one relief staff. Aroldis Chapman would be a player that they should look at. Why would you be anti-Aroldis Chapman?
Because he always gets beat up.
He doesn't always get beat up.
Teams.
He doesn't always
usually
get beat up by
the
teams.
Texans,
He actually helped the Rangers get to the postseason.
They had to take him out because they were too scared of Aroldis versus Jose Altuve again.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't have to face Altuve again if he's an Astro.
That's the one bonus.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But $6 million a year for, well, I mean, I don't think that's not. What did they give? They gave freaking Montero 34, $11 million.
Serious question here. Does the fact that he has had a domestic violence charge in his background hurt him? Or do you think it's so far along that it doesn't matter? Because honestly,
for whatever reason,
a lot of people
don't
know. Yeah, a lot of people don't even either know that or remember that. He does have one in his past, and we had Osuna. Does it matter at all? Because I know you're not even thinking about it now.
For whatever reason, he gets a pass on that. He has gotten a pass on this. I mean, every time. I mean, even Allison Footer. Every time Osuna came into the game, she sent out the domestic violence number. That didn't happen when Aroldis Chapman was going into the games. That, for whatever reason, he has really overcome this like no one we've seen. Speaking of which,
when did it happen?
Did you see Mookie Betts hopes that Trevor Bauer gets a job somewhere? And you know what? Trevor Bauer probably should get a job somewhere.
I think it's probably fair based on everything else that happens. I mean, there's a lot of guys who have done things that. There's a lot of guys who have been accused of things, and the two that don't sit well with me are, I don't think Bauer is probably a very good guy, to be honest with you, but do you have anything on him?
Yeah.
Like, do you have anything on him that sticks? Because if you do, charge him with something. If you don't, he didn't get hit with the settlement was, he didn't pay a financial settlement. The settlement was, you can talk about things and I can talk about things. Like it's, he didn't get clipped by the a civil court. I know Matt Ariza.
No charges came.
What really bothers me is the quick rush to judgment and how strong it is. All of us have our own. I'm not immune to it. Deshaun has 23. Once it gets to 2, 3, 4, 5, of course we all look at stuff like that and start saying, man, that's a ton. Did you know that what's his name? From New York, Cuomo. Do you know that nobody ever charged him with anything with all those cases that he had against him? He never got charged with anything. No civil suits, no suit. But they asked him to resign as governor of New York. Yeah, Matt Ariza, they just cut him. The Bills just said, "Oh, we can't do this." And I get it because the stories were so salacious. The story was so horrible.
Yeah.
But then when everything came out, and I watched the whole piece that Real Sports did on it. I even talked to Andrea Kramer about it, who was in charge of that report. And it's kind of crazy that the guy's out of football. Like, if society would have waited on the rush to judgment, you would have found out some things that would have worked in his favor. But I do understand that it sounds so bad that you don't want to be against the victims,
right,
but by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay, so we've gone from Aroldis Chapman to that. But Aroldis Chapman, you immediately said no on.
Well, it had nothing to do with anything other than
so it's not. It doesn't have to do with it. Listen, I hated seeing Osuna in when it was just felt dirty.
By the way, Aroldis Chapman was not charged.
He was never charged for it. Well, there you go. I mean, unless sometimes behind the scenes there's some, payments made or whatever, hush money. So I don't know.
In 2016, he said, I never hurt anybody. Never in my life. Chapman's girlfriend, Christina Barnea, claimed the pitcher assaulted her, telling authorities he choked and shoved her. The pair were having a dispute after Barnea found a message in Chapman's phone that she didn't like. That happens a lot. She also, in a lot of these athlete stories, have you noticed that it involves the phone and messages?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
She also claimed she heard a gunshot, and police verified that a shotgun had been fired 8 times in Chapman's garage. Wow.
That seems like a lot.
That's-
Unless he was, doing some, doing a little
They said
target shooting.
in
You
a
don't know.
garage?
In the garage.
Okay.
Yeah.
With
You
a
don't know?
shotgun?
Yeah, you don't know.
Spraying buckshot all over the place with a shotgun?
Well-
Okay. Barnea later changed her story, however, telling authorities she didn't recall saying that Chapman struck her. Chapman wasn't charged with any crime.
What if the Astros pick up Trevor Bauer and Aroldis Chapman this offseason?
I mean, say hello to the bad guys. You're basically Scarface now.
I mean, what if you just say bleep it? Let's do it. Let's go.
What would be more
We need to
egregious?
get back.
Who would you rather have? Trevor, I'm going to ask you this. This is called Who Would You Rather Have? It's a new game I invented. Trevor Bauer or Cody Bellinger. One's an outfielder, one's a starter. Both are talented. Bellinger did go on a 2-year funk. He also said, I can also play you what he's... Now, both of them have been very anti-Astro in the past.
Right.
Very anti-Astro.
I'd rather have Bauer.
He's also expensive.
Yeah, so is Bellinger.
Bellinger will be. Yeah.
Yes. Bellinger's going to be expensive.
Why do you say Bauer?
Because I can't stand Cody Bellinger.
I'm just never going to forgive him what he
No.
said. And, he was
And
pushing...
Carlos told him
he
to
pushed
shut the bleep up.
Unless he pushed buzzer narratives, by the way, too.
Yeah.
Jose
He didn't know
Altuve.
what the hell he was talking about.
He didn't.
He didn't.
He pushed buzzer narratives. I don't have any interest with him. To me, that's unless you're going to jump him in as a team, where he gets in and you jump him in like.
It's not.
Like-
They're not a gang.
Well, you have
Although there's not that many guys left from that 17
the
team.
prison party with the Coke cans in the
Yeah.
pillowcases.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you want to do.
He
Oh,
wants
yeah.
gang
You
activity
want to
for
have a
the.
pillow party?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like the way it sounds, but yes. That sounds like something they do in
Hey,
Rangers minor league.
That's a
system, but-
Rangers.
Yeah.
No, that's a towel
No,
party.
okay. Jose
That's a
Altuve
towel
should.
party.
All right, Jose Altuve should get to put a sock in a. He should be able to put soap in a sock, and hit you with. He's too nice.
He is too nice. He wouldn't do it.
Bregman, we let Bregman do it because Jose Altuve would do it real soft. We let Lance McCullers do it.
Won't it hurt his arm?
Oh,
We do
God.
it with his left arm,
Okay.
See,
or maybe that's
Even
part
then,
of his.
he'll still
no,
break-
because maybe that's part of his.
he'll break
You
it.
know, that's like you're strengthening the shoulder.
Don't have Lance McCullers do anything that involves.
Well, who else is on the team? You had Bregman, McCullers, Altuve.
That's it.
Is that it?
That's it.
Verlander was on the 17th.
Oh, Verlander. But he didn't come until. I mean, that was they were already not doing it anymore.
Okay.
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 I'd take my chance with McCullers. I'd let Lance McCullers whip him with a sock. He's best friends with Carlos.
Yep.
We know what Carlos thinks. Lance McCullers also is not afraid to get a little dusty if some salt needs to be thrown. He'll throw the salt.
And he'll die in the H.
And
Doing
he's going to get buried in the H. So why not let him give the sock party to Cody Bellinger?